and to powerfully affect the field. There's so much great stuff happening right now, and I want to dive into some of it and wait for a couple people to come on. I'm going to refresh my Facebook page so I can see the questions when they come in. And wow, what an exciting time to be on the planet and to understand. Raise our conscious awareness. To understand how this reality works and how it's created. Are you figuring it out yet? I know many of you are 100% on top of it, which is amazing. And part of these Q&As is actually to remind ourselves these powerful yet simple tools of consciously creating our reality. And so today's topic is about doing just that. And if you look and pay attention with an observation standpoint, instead of being an automatic reactor to that which you see in the external, because if you're automatically reacting, they have you. That's the key. That's why they're pushing all the dark agendas, just full force over and over and over, week after week after week. However, once you be able to tune in and go, oh, I see the pattern. And if it is true, and I'm at least open to the fact that I am consciously creating my reality, even if right now in my life or my situation, I feel like I wish things were a little bit different. These messages about creating our reality and moving beyond 3D into 5D and beyond keep showing up. So if my built-in guidance system of remembering that I am an unlimited, keyword, unlimited divine being, then I have an interest in following this trail to investigate how I can easily, keyword, easily, not struggle, not hard work, not difficult. All those are spell words that tell the subconscious it's difficult or it's not here yet. When people use spell words like wish, hope, try, want, need, those are all spell words that were put into the English language, and people just recite them over and over because they're describing how they feel, but they weren't taught that they're actually programming their subconscious and their reality to not have what they desire, because they're seeing it in the future, and the subconscious can only do one thing. It's real simple when you figure out how the subconscious works, and nobody really ever taught me that. Even all the books that I purchased and read, it wasn't super simplified. Maybe it was just me. I didn't get it. I don't know. But I bought so many of the top spiritual books, and I got some information from it, but they didn't teach me how to go in and clear the underlying subconscious beliefs and programs. So I had difficulty with money. I had difficulty with relationships. I had difficulty clearing my automatic judgments and my shame and my guilt and all this stuff that I took on in Catholic school and that I downloaded from my chosen parents and events that happened in my life. Keyword chosen. We choose a soul contract before we come down here. And if you can be open to that, you don't have to fully believe it. Don't believe me. Like my teacher, Don Miguel Ruiz said, he said, don't believe me, but definitely don't believe yourself. Question everything. So when you understand that the subconscious only works in one way, it's not complicated like the conscious mind. It's constantly thinking things in 50 to 80,000 thoughts a day. The subconscious mind can only take a direct order. Your desire is either here or it's not. There's nothing complicated about it. It's just that unless you understand that, the conscious mind will keep trying, and it just keeps running all the time. And with the 3D distractions, you've got a recipe for what you're seeing with people right now in reaction mode, in fear, judging everybody. And that's how they keep people stuck. You won't move out of 3D if you're still judging and you haven't done the inner healing. So that's what these tools are about. And they're really actually simple. And that's why I share them, because I love it. It's very interesting. I think Facebook has put my posts and my lives, I think I'm way lower, because I used to have 20 to 30 to 40 people on these lives every time within the first 5 or 10 minutes. And the last couple lives that I've done, my numbers have been really, really low. So maybe people are just getting it and they're like, we understand it. We're rocking and rolling. We're consciously creating our reality. First thing every morning, we're focusing on that which we desire. We're seeing it as already here now, never in the future. Because again, the subconscious must receive a direct order. So that's why this process teaches how to do that. And it's super simple. But it takes practice. Even for me, I practice it every day, and I've been doing it for almost 20 years. And so you see me come on and do these lives, and I'm basically speaking to Jeff passionately. So I don't ever forget this stuff. Because if you don't practice this stuff and be playful with it, keyword playful, then it's very easy for the things in the external world, the 3D matrix, to distract you and to pull on you. So we've got to be very careful with who we have conversations with, what those conversations are about, what we're focusing on, what we're running every day. Because the average person is running 50 to 80,000 thoughts. And it's been proven in studies that 80% of those thoughts that are running underneath the surface are negative programming. So what do you think is going to happen in one's reality? Yeah, money's going to be hard to come by. It's going to be difficult. Things are going to be hard. People are going to try. They're going to wish. They're going to hope. And they don't understand that that is all very limited programming. And so we're just here to wake up. So it's really about being very gentle with yourself, being very playful, and getting excited. Keyword, excitement. If anybody has any questions about anything around inner healing, consciously creating your reality, manifestation, abundance, anything, feel free to pop them in. The first person that pops in a question is always the one that gets everybody else to go, okay, it's safe and there's community in here. I see it happen every time. So if anybody wants to ask the first question, great. And thank you for tuning in. And thank you to those people that share this for others that feel they may benefit. Because really, at the end of the day, conscious awareness, raising our conscious awareness and undoing this program is the only game in town. And it's the only way to move into 5D, because until you are consciously creating your reality and undoing the old limiting programming and the automatics and convert those into love and joy and excitement and compassion, which is really pretty easy once you practice it and realize that every single person you see is your mirror. Especially the ones that you may judge or think that are bad. And yeah, so okay, so let's look at that a little bit, because I used to do that heavily. I was a judgeaholic, which is why I wrote a whole chapter in judgment in the book, because it's the biggest addiction on the planet. Most people are judgeaholics. They've been taught to be that because they take on a belief system that's actually a tiny, tiny, tiny prison. Our beliefs aren't even our own. They all came from outside ourselves. And when my teacher got me to see that in 2001, my head like exploded. It was one of the biggest aha moments and life-changing things for me on my journey ever. Because I was like, oh my God, none of my beliefs are mine. And most people's beliefs aren't theirs. Yet they get triggered and automatically react to anything, any information that comes in and challenges that very flimsy little prison of a belief system. Our beliefs couldn't even fit on the head of the tiniest pin. There is so much out there, dimensions upon dimensions of reality, and we can't even process it right now. Well, maybe some of you can, and great. That's where we're all headed, into, fully remembering. And the vastness of the universe is so huge that we're basically in nursery school right now, kindergarten. And so many people go, oh, I'm awake. Well, that's great. But most people, when they say they're awake, What they're really saying is, I realize that we've been lied to about every single thing in almost every system, from the school system to religion to history, science. It's all been manipulated to keep us stuck in 3D. And so that's the first part to wake up to. And then you're like, okay, I'm awake. That's just scratching the surface. When you begin to understand that every thought, every word, and the emotional frequency or vibration that you put behind that is actually what is magnetizing timelines to you, then you can start to see and feel, which is the key. Anytime you have a less than thought, a thought about shame, a thought about not being good enough, and we all have them from time to time, then you can begin to clear that stuff very, very quickly. And I don't know any process that does it quicker. And so let's do a little exercise. Looks like we have one person on here. Oh, it looks like on my other channel it says 9. So I don't know. Facebook is playing with me. All right. So it's all good. And in the end, I'm just talking to myself anyway. So, all right. So one of the keys I have here in my notes is, how long are we able to consciously hold the thought of that which we desire? And when I awaken in the morning, and when I have people that go through this course, or people that have read the book or get the digital course or journey with me, the very first thing that we do, first thing in the morning, as soon as we awaken out of the sleeping dream, while our head's still on the pillow, we don't get up to go to the bathroom, we don't get up to start a pot of coffee, nothing. Because the minute you get up, those 50 to 80,000 thoughts are going to start running again. I have people tell me, well, I come back and I meditate, a couple hours earlier. That's great. However, I've tested this all out 1,000,000 times, and as soon as we awaken from what we call the sleeping dream, because we're dreaming all the time, we're dreaming right now. And when my mentor first told me that, I was like, what? Because the ego was going, I don't know if I can control that. And the ego wants to be in control all the time. And we must see how this program runs and dismantle it. Otherwise, it's going to be more challenging to shift and attract that which we want. Because if the ego's in control and we haven't got it to become our friend and basically switch sides from over here, from the judge and the fear base and the automatic reactor, over here to the more aware, excited ally, where the ego goes, okay, so we can actually have fun and create, and it doesn't have to be difficult, and it doesn't have to be hard, and we don't have to be an automatic reaction, because that's when we lower our frequency, and then we have to relearn or have the same situation show up in relationships or whatever it is over and over and over and over. So this is really key, to be able to see these programs. Oh, wow, what a trip. I can see all these questions in my Facebook, but I can't see any in StreamYard. Wow. Okay. Oh, my StreamYard feed seems to be frozen. Okay, let's see if I can all right, whatever. All right, the show must go on. Okay, so cool. So hey, Rhonda, hey, Heather. All right, so yeah, we've just scratched the surface. And it's okay, because if I were to say something like, we're still in nursery school and we just scratched the surface, the old ego would judge us and go, yeah, you're still not enough, and da-da-da-da-da, and it'd be all frustrated and everything. But with awareness, we can go, wow, we've just scratched the surface. There's so much out there, and we're waking up, and we came here to do this right now. And there's all these other incredible people that we can see on social media, and we magnetize them into our reality, like-minded people, by focusing on every single morning when I'm lying in bed with my head still on the pillow. I love on every cell in my body, every one of these trillions of cells, and I literally rub on my body and love on it. And I feel my breath going and oxygenating every one of my cells from the top of my head down through every one of these incredible organs that are serving me in every moment when I'm not even really thinking about it that often, but I do every morning. And I give love to my eyes and my brain and my nose and my taste buds and my lungs and my heart that's beating the blood, purifying everything, every single muscle. And I give it love and I smile and my vibration goes up, 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 up very quickly, like in under 30 seconds. And sometimes if I wake up and, I had a bad dream or the thoughts are running or whatever, then I simply take a few more slow breaths and I smile. Even if I wake up upset for some reason, had a bad dream, then I smile. Why do I smile? Because I know that relaxes every one of my trillions of cells, and it lets me know that everything's okay, because it is. And so once I begin to do the slow, deep breaths, now this stops running because that drops me down into my heart. Now I get into what we call 0 point. 0 point is where the mind is clear. You're not in the future. You're not in the past. You're not thinking about, I got to get up today. I got to put on a pot of coffee. I got to get gas in the car before I go to work. That's all going to happen. You're going to take care of that. But the key is to be in 0 point every single morning and as many times throughout the day. So we're not just carrying in like Santa Claus all the same old programs from yesterday. Because what's going to get done and what needs to get done is going to get done. However, those that awaken every morning and consciously and intentionally and excitedly, key word, create their reality and take time to do it, lead completely different lives. My life is completely different. Completely. And I see that what I envision shows up, and it's happening quicker and quicker and quicker. And the beauty of it is all these wonderful energies are coming into the planet. Consciousness is raising up collectively, individually. Our DNA is getting activated. Things are speeding up, even though there's no such thing as time. The manifestation of what we are feeling and experiencing is speeding up. And it's only going to continue, which is great news, which is another reason to get even more excited. So how long can, oh, thanks, Heather, I have 11. That's a great number. Okay, so the practice is, how long can you hold the frequency without getting distracted of consciously creating your reality? So I don't know how many people do this. I know the people that have gone through the course and the journey, and a lot of people that watch the lives each week and the YouTube channel. They're like, yeah, I'm doing this. Thank you so much. It really works. It truly works. Yeah, why? Why does it truly work? Because we are consciously creating our reality. And we're either going to consciously and intentionally do it, or it's going to be created for us by our little limiting belief system and all of the stuff that we see in the 3D reality. And so we're moving beyond that right now. It's the most exciting time, one of them in recorded history. And I don't know anything about history because most everything I was taught was a lie. But I know that there used to be people that were 20 feet tall. I've seen pictures. I know that people used to live for thousands of years and they could live as long as they want because their DNA wasn't hijacked. And if they ate healthy or they had healthy thoughts, they could live as long as they wanted. And I'm planning on staying here on Earth for a long time. I don't know if that's going to happen. If I transition, then I'm back in the most magical journey again. I may come back. I may do something else. I don't know. But I'll tell you what, Mother Earth is the most beautiful planet that I could ever imagine. I see these other, pictures of like 5D and they got these crystal buildings and all this stuff. I don't see a tree in sight or any running water or hardly anything. Maybe in some, there's some animals and deer and whatever. But where I live in Thailand, I live in the most magical, beautiful, prana-filled earth I've ever seen. Wherever there's not concrete, there's a plant. There's bananas falling onto the street when I'm driving down the road. There's mangoes. There's hundreds and thousands of dragonflies, butterflies, everywhere you go, all year round. There's just plants and orchids and I mean, it's unbelievable. And Mother Earth is just constantly giving and showering us with love unconditionally. Even if we've poisoned her air, her water, everything, she's unconditional love. And she is one of the greatest teachers that I tune into every day. And I just feel so, so blessed to, I don't know, to always kind of have been a nature boy. I couldn't imagine anybody that wouldn't be so amazed at nature, because it's so pure and it's only there for us. It's not there to take anything for itself. There's no ego in nature. All it does is give, and it's alive, and it's got the most magnificent colors and smells, and it's mind-blowing. So when we tune into this as many times throughout the day as we can, since the human being is actually a walking, talking, vibrating magnet. It's what we are. You know, the heart radiates out, I don't know how many feet, 30, 40, 50 feet, maybe 100. And they say that one loving thought can counteract 100,000 other people that are depressed or angry or mad or whatever. You know, I'm doing a course in animal whispering right now. And I just found out that the horse's heart goes out I don't know, a mile or so. I don't know yet. I haven't memorized all that. But it's like we are magnets. Animals can feel things. They have senses that are far beyond ours. And most people, well, many people, I don't want to say most, careful with the words. Many people just think they're smarter than their dog or their cat or their horse or just animals in general. And I'll tell you what, I go around and I deal with these wild jungle dogs in Thailand every single day. And I'll tell you what, their senses are frickin' way beyond my senses. My beautiful dog Luna that we have a loving relationship with, she can hear my motorcycle coming about a quarter of a mile away. And my Honda Scoopy is the same as 10,000 other Honda Scoopies in this area where I live. They all sound the same to me. And Luna can hear my specific motor scooter and come running. And there's another beautiful dog named Prince that lives out by the dam, and he can hear me too. And it's amazing to tune into this and to observe how I used to believe that, oh, well, humans are just smarter than animals. What a trap that is. Because now that I'm taking this animal whispering course, I'm learning that, I mean, one of my most empowering statements is, I know nothing. I know nothing. Because the ego wants to know, and it wants to be in control and power, and that's the trap. That keeps you trapped in that small, little, tiny belief system prison. And when you can let go and just go, I'll know what I need to know when I need to know it. And the most important thing that I know is, where's my frequency right now? What words am I using? What thoughts am I allowing to run and take up my time? It's the only game in town. Let me shift over to this page. Oh, cool. You're taking that course. Oh, cool. Oh, how wonderful. Yeah, it's called, I forget what it's called. Let me find it. I got it up here somewhere. Yeah, it's called trust-technique.com. Trust, like a dash in the middle, separating the two words, trusttechnique.com. Yeah, the guy and his wife that teach it are freaking amazing. Amazing. He's so heart-based. And one of the things that's so great is, you know, when you talk about training a dog or a horse or an animal or a cat, whatever, usually you start to give them commands and rewards. You know, you give them food, and if they do what you want, you know, you give them a reward. Well, that can be part of it. But the first thing this wise couple does is they go in and they sit with the animal and they just completely clear their mind. Completely. Because the other animal, the wounded horse or dog, or whether they're wounded or not, they can sense the energy in your mind. And the best place to start is in a super clean, clear 0 point. So a lot of times, they've got videos on the website where they'll just go sit with a wounded horse for like an hour, and the horse won't come near them. And then like a half hour later, the horse will be laying its head on their lap or whatever. It's very interesting to observe when you think you're smarter or you know more than somebody else. That's the ego trapping you and trying to be in control. So the beauty about these tools that I share is you learn to feel the frequency of every thought, every word, and every emotion. And when you do this process and you begin to run through tracking your frequency every day for 30 days, you will begin to see the programs, and you'll be like, oh my God, that's how they trap so many people, because they just keep them in automatic reaction mode. So they just keep reacting and judging and wishing and hoping and trying. And they use words like it's hard, it's difficult. And they just keep programming their subconscious with actually the opposite of what they truly desire. And they don't even realize it. It's a brilliant plan. The dark ones, they had all their DNA. They understand how humans respond and react and everything. And they created this program that has trapped us for thousands of years. But the great news is, because we're all into great news, right? The light has already won. And now it's all about learning and practicing. How do I actually consciously and intentionally create my reality? What are the tools? And then it's just practice, practice, practice. And if you can get excited and make it playful, even if you get triggered, my computer's messing up. Okay, stop, take a breath. What is this trying to teach me and show me? The priceless question, whenever you have a judgment, a trigger, a less than thought, you train yourself to feel it in your body. And the way you do that is you begin to track it. And in this process, many of you know, there's a daily tracking sheet, PDF, that you print out, and you fill it out every night. It takes 5 minutes. And you write down the number of times you caught yourself. And then it's got a few simple questions. What came up for you? What triggers you? You've got the dismantling side, and then you've got the side of what are you consciously setting your intention to create? Did you consciously create your reality today? Did you set alarms on your phone to go off every hour throughout the day? How many of those did you catch? Well, I caught 5. Awesome, high five. Don't judge yourself because you didn't catch the other 7. If you catch 5 alarms a day, and plus you do the morning routine where you're consciously creating your reality, so that means you did it 6 times in a day. That's 180 times a month. That's going to completely shift your reality. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. You don't need to go to school for 12 or 16 years to get into the club and then agree to giving up 65 years of your life to go in and work for the system doing something you don't love so you can pay to be on a planet that was supposed to be free. If you choose and have the courage to only do what you love, you can still have whatever you desire, if it's the house, the car, the money in the bank, whatever. You're supposed to do what excites you, not what's going to keep you safe. And we've all got to learn that on our own. I did it too. Luckily or unluckily, luckily in the long run, I got injured at every job I ever did. From lifting or from, sitting at a computer for 18 hours a day chasing the dangling carrot. Well, if you just do this for the next month or the next 3 months while we create our new, department in the business, then you might be making $100,000 a year. Next thing I know, I got carpal tunnel so bad I can't sleep, I can't move, had to leave the job. It all worked out perfect. But that forced me into doing what I love, which is recording and playing music. And so I lived in my recording studio for 27 years. I said, I'm not going back to a job. And so I moved out of my house and I lived in a recording studio, 5 different ones for 27 years. And that's how I built up all my microphones, all my guitars, my amps, everything, from a small mixing board to a 6-foot long, fully professional, fully modified board. Why? Because I decided to follow my passion. And this is the key. And this is the voice inside that's speaking to you. But the fear-based ego goes, I don't know. I don't think I can. It's really difficult. It's really hard. And the ego goes, okay, it's really difficult. It's really hard. But if you go, I'm going to find a way no matter what, because I know that voice is true. Then yeah, you might have to work a part-time job or whatever. We do what we do until we don't have to do that. But are you listening to the voice inside? Because it's there. And you can't deny it. So does anybody have any questions? Hey, Paul, great to see you. Oh, thanks for the comment there, Paul. Yeah, Miguel changed my life. I mean, he didn't teach me the processes in the book, but man, when he taught me that my belief system wasn't even mine, that changed my whole reality. Because you can see people are just defending their belief system, and anything that challenges it or touches on an unhealed childhood wound, they get triggered. And as soon as you get triggered, you react, and then you got to relive that thing over and over and over. So, yeah, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, write your own story for sure. Yeah, I can't share these comments because they're not showing up but you can all see them. So yeah, so if anybody has any questions around creating your reality, inner healing, manifestation. I mean, you guys kind of already know this stuff, but what's really powerful is when somebody comes on to do the 30-day or 60-day mentorship with me, just within the first 5 minutes of speaking to them, they pretty much reveal their story and their blocks through their words and the way they tell their story. And it's great because look, our vulnerability and our authenticity and our willingness to be honest and open, that opens up the whole universe when we're around people that have the tools and are willing to support us and love us. There's no judgment when you go through this course. That's just totally negative. There's only, hey, look at this. And they'll be like, oh my God, I didn't even realize I was doing that. I didn't realize I was using the spell words. I wish, I hope, I want, I'm going to, I've always wanted to, I'm going to try. And those are all giving your subconscious the opposite command of what you're actually desiring. But we weren't taught that. Once you see that, once I mirror somebody one time on that, and then 10 minutes later, they're starting to go, well, I need, and they catch it. They catch the word need immediately. Even if they've been saying that word automatically for 5, 6, 7, 8 decades. Yeah, I journey with people that are 8 decades young and they kick ass because they're hungry and they're willing to listen. And they drop all their guard and they start to clear decades of stuff like that. It's the most life-changing thing I know. So, okay, so no questions. So yeah, let me go to my notes here. Okay, yeah, so really, some people are going to tune into this transmission and put the tools into place, and it's going to completely change their life. I understand when we're scrolling through Facebook, we're taking in information. There's millions of videos on YouTube. I love YouTube. I use it all the time. It's 9:33 right now. Maybe it's a message for somebody. If you don't write some of this stuff down, chances are you're going to forget it. Because when my mentors and my teachers told me certain things, I had to really hear them like a bunch of times. Because the first time I heard it, my ego mind went, yeah, that's really good. Yeah, I'll try and do that. This was before I knew about spell words. And, so my program was running and my defaults and my automatic reactions and my automatic judgments. And, I was a judgeaholic. I went to Catholic private schools starting in 2nd grade with angry, pissed off nuns. They were all pissed off. There was very little love anywhere. It was judgment day every day. And even in 2nd grade, I didn't know the first thing about conscious awareness or frequency, but my intuition told me something is very wrong here. And that's why myself and my best friend, Mike, we were always in trouble. We got straight A's and B's, but we were always in trouble because we always challenged it because we knew it was wrong. It was bullshit. So your internal guidance system knows, and the key is to learn to trust it. However, you must do the inner healing, because if you don't, the wound is going to trick you into believing that that's your internal guidance system, and it's not. It's just going to be defending and protecting and reacting, and you will not be able to get past that until you go in and look at it. So the one thing that I love to impart to people is, it's very interesting that the inner healing process is usually the last place that people go. They'll go do all these seminars and webinars, and they'll buy all the spiritual clothes, and they'll buy the crystals and the beads and, the tarot cards and all this stuff. And, if that stuff works for you, that's great. It didn't do a whole lot for me. I have my crystals and things. I love them. But, pulling a card and reading astrology, it never seemed to pertain to me at all. It may be something useful to you, but for me, what's useful is, where's my frequency right now? That's it. Where's my frequency right now? What am I magnetizing into my reality? Which timelines? Am I magnetizing in more low vibrational timelines because I'm angry, because I haven't healed, because I'm judgmental, because I'm focusing on lack, and I keep saying how hard and difficult things are? Or am I waking up every single morning excited and going, wow, I get another day. Look, I'm surrounded by abundance. No matter what my bank account says, I've got health. I turn a little knob in the faucet. I've got water running all over my body, the water of life. I've got oxygen. I've got plants surrounding me. I've got electricity. I've got a pillow. I've got a bed. I've got a Tibetan bell. I've got a fan here on my computer. I've got guitars. I've got food. I've got a refrigerator. I've got electricity. I've got animals out front. I have a water fountain. I have little fish in there. I've got butterflies and plants and more abundance everywhere I go. It's everywhere. People get hung up on money, which currently we do trade. I don't want to use the word NEED, but there's too much emphasis put on it. And if somebody hears that right now, they're going to go, well, we have to have it. The ego gets triggered. Notice that. Notice it. Because if you don't catch it and go, okay, well, that's the trigger, because the truth is currently, yes, there is an exchange system. However, the majority of people only focus on wanting, spell word, or needing, or trying to get more money, when all this stuff is around them that's showing them abundance, but they're just taking that for granted. This is a trap of the ego. But if you begin to go, oh my God, I've got this beautiful heart, high vibrational thing that this friend of mine in Thailand gave me. She also made me this incredible pyramid and just gave it to me. It's got all these cool vibrational crystals and all this stuff in it. Wow, look at this. I've got healthy vitamins, no pharmaceuticals at all. I've got water with baking soda and lime in it off the trees. I've got a remote control for an air conditioner. I'm constantly surrounded. Look, here's a pair of scissors for when I need to cut something. I mean, you might think that's ridiculous, but if you do, look at the ego, because that's trapping you. This is an incredible invention. You know what it took to make this? I couldn't believe I'd be on here with a pair of scissors when I envisioned today's thing, but I'll tell you what, look at this. This thing cuts so beautifully. It opens packages that get sent to me. I'm telling you, if you begin to wake up, keyword, every day, and start to name and focus on everything that you're grateful for, I guarantee you, money will not be a problem. And you can go, well, it is because I'm work. Hey, you can either react automatically, or you can take the seed and the gift that's being presented. You can either react automatically based on your past negative experiences, and you can pull in like Santa Claus all the things and all the reasons why it's hard and difficult and you don't like, or you can go, maybe I should, since I just reacted, number one, I should catch it because I just felt that automatic. So what do we do anytime we have an automatic? We train ourselves to stop, take a breath and go, okay, I know here's an opportunity to clear this. What is this trying to show me or teach me about me? That is one of the most priceless questions and mantras. If you practice that, and the process teaches you how to do it. Even kids can do it. And actually, children pick up on the tools quicker than their parents. Because I have many people with children that go through the mentorship with me, and they have children. So, they get the children the clicker and they print out their own tracking sheets. And the children are going, Mom, you need to click. You just had a trigger or a less than thought or a judgment, because they're excited about it and they love it because it's a game. The adults are like, oh, this is a struggle. This is hard. This is going to be work. No, this process that I share with people, there is nothing hard about it unless you decide it's hard. It's actually very fun. It's the most life-changing process I've ever found on the planet. And I've paid over $100,000 for most of the top spiritual books on money, clearing, healing. I've been to most of the top 3-day seminars in San Diego, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, and Sedona, and New Mexico. And I was pumped up for 2 or 3 days. And then a week or two later, I'm right back, because most of them, if not all of them, didn't teach me how to go in and clear the subconscious beliefs and the wounds like this process does. So yeah, I'm plugging it because it works. I'm not plugging it to try and sell you on something. It works. And it's the fastest, shortest way that I've ever found. And I'm all about fast and short and simple. Why? Because I intend that this life becomes easier and easier and easier and easier. And it is when you get in the flow and stop resisting. So let's talk about any questions. Let me go into my Facebook page here. Yep. Any questions from anybody? Nobody has a question? You guys all have this wired? I love it. All right. So, do you guys journal? I didn't really like to, because my handwriting is a little bit sloppy. And the reason why is because my mind thinks much quicker and I'm doing my best to keep up. And so it's a little bit scribbly. So what I love to do is I talk into my phone. I've got a little recording program. And if you didn't know, in Messenger, on my Android anyway, there's 2 microphones. And this is how I message back and forth with clients every day, so I don't have to type out all this stuff. But it's great to do journaling. When I get an idea, I wake up at 3 in the morning, I reach over and grab my phone, which is on airplane, and I just hit the recorder, and I just talk into it. In the morning when I wake up, all my notes are there, clear. So in Messenger, you can leave a message to yourself, either audio that you can listen to, or right below it when you click on the thing with the typing, all the letters and numbers, there's another little microphone right there. That microphone doesn't record audio. It translates your audio into text. So then you can copy that and post it into Word or whatever if you're writing a book or whatever you're doing. So we've got all these incredible tools to remind ourselves, are you using them? Are you using them? That's the key. Because we are consciously creating our reality. Therefore, the more that we awaken and we go, wow, it'd be really easy. It'd be a lot nicer if I had a little thing that converted my thoughts into words so I can remember them and I don't have to write them. Next thing you know, hey, here's this little thing that does it. A little 10-cent box that you can carry with you anywhere that can receive incoming data and messages from anywhere in the world. Pretty cool. Yeah, they're trying to use it against us, but that's not going to work. None of this stuff. Facebook, I love it. Thank you, Zuckerberg and Soros and all the people that created this to track us and use it against us. It's all imploding. You've created the biggest platform for uniting people ever. And I've tried most of the other platforms. MeWe and Twitter and all these other things. Not Telegram. I still haven't figured out how to use that. Although I can kind of send somebody a message or share something, but it's nothing like this. It's great. So I'm thanking them. When you can get to the point where you can thank everyone, let's go into this. This is really super key. Forgiveness and thanking those that you feel abused you. So here's the $1 million question into our freedom. Have you done the inner healing and forgiven not only yourself? That's usually the last piece that people do. They're like, well, I can forgive somebody else. And then they don't realize that they've judged themselves and, they've been really hard on themselves. I used to punch myself in the face in the mirror. I've told that story before. I thought that the Catholic Church had condemned me and made me feel like I was going to hell. Yeah, it was effed up. So I used to look in the mirror and punch myself as hard as I could in the face. Okay? This is programming. This is religion. It's all inverted to give your power away to something outside yourself. And if you're involved in religion and it's working for you, great. No need to get triggered, whatever. I was an altar boy. I was in Catholic school for almost 12 years. I know the system. I put myself into it as part of my soul contract so I could dismantle that thing and play a role in that. So if it's working for you, great, cool. Love is the answer in every situation. But when I was in church, it was the most judgmental place I've ever been, ever. So anyway, one thing here. All right, I'm just reading through here. Yeah, judgment is the biggest addiction on the planet. And that's why I wrote a whole chapter on it. But more importantly, how to dismantle it. Because every judgment is about us. It's so trippy. My life says there's 0 people. It's cool. It's a good practice. I'm just talking to myself. Hey, Jeff, I love you. This is great. I like that shirt. Yeah, it's nice. It's cool. I got it in Thailand for this shirt, pure silk. I don't wear it out in the sun because it's freaking hot here, but this shirt was like $5. This is like a $100 shirt in the US. Thailand is so great. If you ever get a chance to come over here, it was a fluke how I ended up here, but it's 5 to 10 times cheaper to live here than it is in the US. And it's incredible. The people are so loving and kind. They're living in fear. Most are still masked up, and it's a shame. Yesterday I saw these children getting off of a school bus, and the brainwashed teacher or supervisor, and all the little kids were wearing their uniforms. They're so cute and innocent, and they're all masked up, and the teacher was spraying every one of them as they got off the bus. They had to line up, and he was spraying their hands, and then he had them turn around, and he's spraying them with all these chemicals. And it's just teaching them more fear, more fear. I wanted to, oh man, I've trained myself. I stop and I observe and I go, isn't that interesting? And I send them all love. Isn't that interesting? Because if I'm just judging, I did use the word brainwashed, which is kind of judging, but yeah, if you're spraying kids, and everybody here for the most part, mostly has had 3 or 4 jabs. It's crimes against humanity. But getting back to how beautiful and wonderful Thailand is, a lot of you have probably seen my transmissions from the big gold Buddha and all the temples, and everybody here's in their heart. The only issue is that they trust everybody. They don't feel like anybody would ever deceive them or harm them. So if the government gets on the live vision and says, you need to go get this frickin' jibby jab, then people just do it. It's a shame. But I'll tell you what, these are some of the most loving, kind people I've ever met, and I don't wear a mask. And so I'm going around and I'm smiling at everybody. And as soon as they see your smile, 99% of them smile back because they just get it. They're heart-based people. So it's really cool. Yeah. This was live a few days ago. No, this is a new live. I share a lot of the same tools. If they work for you, great. If they trigger you, there's more scrolling you can do in Facebook, no problem. So cool. All right. So let's look at undoing these programs. And if anybody has any questions around that, great. And if you've mastered it, then wonderful. Go out and share this stuff with as many people as you can, because this is the only game in town. But let's talk about being a magnet and consciously creating our reality. So if we are a magnet, and you understand, everybody here understands the law of attraction on some level, that our thoughts and our words and our vibration or frequency is creating our reality, then how do we undo all this programming that we've taken on by choosing to come in to this reality to be part of the greatest shift in recorded history that I know of? Well, we have to take an inventory of what are our thoughts, what are our beliefs, and do we have any automatic reactions or triggers or anything that we haven't cleared or healed? That's it. That's a starting point. So how do we do that? Well, we begin to put everything under a magnifying glass very gently and lovingly with curiosity. Yeah. Be curious like a little child. And you go, wow, isn't that interesting? Whenever I hear about that, I have a reaction. And it's heart-based. There's nothing wrong with having compassion about people that are being harmed or abducted or sacrificed or manipulated or whatever. However, our place of power is in an observational state of 0 point, where we can go, okay, that's interesting. So if I decide to do something to change that, I do it by being in that state of 0 point, and that's where our power lies. It's not in reacting. It's in consciously observing. So until we learn to undo these automatic programs and reactions, they're going to keep creating loops. And we can be in 5D. We can be in our heart. However, anytime we have a judgment or a reaction, and I still get triggered once in a while, it happens. It's normal. The key is to not judge yourself and beat yourself up and go, oh man, I'm never going to get out of 3D. To just go, okay, there's one. What is this trying to show me or teach me about me? And just go, okay. So I have a little bit of observation to do around governments that are consciously harming and killing people. And for me, around people that are sacrificing children, pedophiles. Those are my two big things. And so I just go, okay, so let's zoom out. Let's take the observer's viewpoint and go, all right, can I find anything good in this? If you look for something good, you can always find it, because anything that's deceptive or evil has within it the seed of its own destruction. I'll say that again. Anything that is evil or attempting to do harm to others has within it the seed of its own destruction, because love is really all there is. And that's where we came from, and that's where we're going back to. This is just an incredible roller coaster ride of the most incredible amusement park we could have ever imagined coming into, which is why we decided to come down here and be part of this incredible shift and healing and clearing and the creating of the most magnificent, loving, magical planet ever. Mother Earth is it for me. And so, does anybody have any questions around clearing a trigger? Does anybody have any questions around inner healing? Have you forgiven everyone? And you'll know if you've forgiven them completely when you can thank them. Now, this can trigger a lot of people. I journey with people all the time that have been raped, sexually abused, MK ultra'd, beaten down, locked up as prisoners from abusive alcoholic husbands for years, had people murdered right in front of them, some really heavy stuff. But if you can zoom out and become the observer and understand, or at least be open to the fact that you chose that as part of your soul contract, then you can go, okay, that was intense. But why did I choose it? And what is the gift here? And in every case, the people that come and journey with me and go through this process, most of them have been through the most intense stuff, which means that they have huge, huge gifts to share with the rest of the planet in clearing thousands of years of these issues and challenges. So if you've been through the deepest, darkest stuff, and you can stop using, you can step out of victim mode and go, okay, I'm pissed. And I've been in pain for decades. But something in this message is resonating with me, and I've tried everything else and it didn't work. So maybe this invitation is for me to finally forgive. Because what happens with so many people is they tell their story and they're angry and they lock down this story of what happened to them, and they won't let anything come in because that story's got like an ironclad iron door on it. It's like a vault. And they're so used to telling their story that way that they don't know who they would be if they let go of that story. This is really key to see. Really key. Okay, I was just checking to see if there were any questions. Okay, so this is super, super, super. Okay, yeah. If you still have people to forgive, understand this as an invitation. You will not move out of the repeating lessons in 3D, lower vibrational timelines, until you heal and forgive. You won't. And no wishing and hoping to try and bypass it and go around is gonna. I tried them all. I tried going around, through, under, everything, drugs, alcohol, numbing, every single thing. You can't do it. But what I will tell you is, forgiving is easy. And if that triggers you, that's your story and your ego being upset because it wants to hold on to that, and it does not want you to let go of that because it's so invested in that story and it's afraid. So you do it gently and lovingly. But I take people through the process in 5 or 10 minutes. And they've been holding on to that for 5, 6, 7, 8 decades. That's been their story. And they've been to therapists that strung them along for month after month after month after month. And I don't know why. And I know there's some good, loving, kind therapists out there, but I've been to a couple when I was younger and my dad died, and I was 7 years young, and I was like, I could tell this person isn't even in touch with their heart in any way. They're totally in their head. I could feel it. So it's okay. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. How do you know that? Because it's happening. And it's actually really kind of ridiculous to be fighting what is, because it's what it is. So I love Byron Katie's work. She said, if you resist what is, you're going to be wrong, but only 100% of the time. Whatever's showing up, the priceless question is, what is this trying to show me or teach me about me? That immediately takes one out of resistance so that you can stop the cycle and go, okay, I'm ready to listen. I'm ready to stop fighting and telling that same story. The only way it's going to change is if you are open to looking at it from a different perspective. And that means noticing the resistance, noticing the automatic reaction, keyword automatic, automatic, automatic for years and decades and decades. You're just running it. You got programmed. It's not your fault. It was a protection mechanism to protect yourself. But now that you're ready to move beyond 3D, here's the tools. So if this, I intend that this is resonating. So any questions? Not one question on this call. That's interesting. Okay, cool. All right. I just intend that it's getting downloaded. Okay. All right. So here we are. Thursday or Friday, 2022. One of the most exciting times ever. And so again, how much time out of the day do you spend consciously creating your reality? A lot of people go, well, I really don't have time because I'm busy from the time I get up to the time I go to sleep. I've got 2 kids, I got a family, and I've got 2 different jobs. And I'm working sick. Okay. All right, cool. So do you consciously create your reality first thing in the morning when you're in bed while your head's still on the pillow? Can you set your alarm a half hour or an hour earlier so that you can be there in bed and be loving on yourself and consciously creating your reality? Because the rest of the day, you're not consciously creating your reality. You're just doing what you have to do to survive or to take care of whatever. And I intend that you're loving what you do. I'm not saying it's all bad or anything. I'm sharing tools to move beyond into the next level, to realize that you are not stuck, you are not trapped unless you believe you are. And what's in the middle of the word believe? L-I-E. Doesn't mean that every one of your beliefs is a lie, but the belief system is a very, very tiny prison. And unless you undo it, you'll never go beyond it. I'll say that again. The belief system is a tiny prison. Your beliefs aren't even your own. They might resonate with you, but they're not your own. There's so much more beyond your belief system. So if you're open to dismantling it, this is how you do it really, really fast. It'll change everything for you. And it's fun. When you get to see it, then you start to wake up really excited and you go, man, I'm going to clear this stuff. I'm going to use these tools, these simple tools, keyword. I'm going to be playful every day. And I'm going to start to get back to being enthusiastic like a little child. Because that is what magnetizes things into your reality faster and faster and faster. Adults have resistance. Their programs are, a little bit deeper. Children are like, I'm going to fly to the moon. I'm on a rocket ship. I'm hanging out with the fairies in the garden. They have no limitations until the school system comes in and completely squashes a child and programs them with a 3D belief system. I wouldn't put my child in this school system for anything in the world. No excuses whatsoever. And those that teach their kids these tools, their children are going to lead completely different lives than the ones that go through the school system. I see people posting, it's that time of year, it's June. Oh, my daughter just graduated. Congratulations. Great. But you're really graduating just to go into the system. And there's nothing wrong with that if you truly believe that you're helping people and that's your passion. That's not for me to decide. My joy is in busting all these programs. And the school system is a huge, massive program. And people that pay to get into the club, that go the extra 4 to 6 years to get into Harvard or Yale, or those institutions that have satanic societies that are running them. Have you been down that rabbit hole yet? You're just basically paying to get into the club. Doesn't mean you're any smarter than anybody else. You got to be able to see this stuff. If you don't see it, then you don't see it. And it's not your path, you know? And if that triggers anybody that's got a degree, it's not my intention. My intention is for people to be able to see the programs and how they've been set up to keep people locked in. The people that have those huge degrees, that's the pool of people that are actually doing the worst things against society. They're working for the soulless corporations that are poisoning the air, food, the water. But they're making so much money that they can't afford to leave. That's how they get you. Got to be able to see it. And if you're willing to take money, even if you know what your company or corporation is doing is wrong, probably going to be coming back to relive some of these lessons again. I don't know. I know nothing. That's some of the information that I've downloaded. So anyway, thank you, everybody. If there's no questions, then, you know, you guys know this stuff. You know this stuff. So again, if anybody's interested, you know, in doing the 30 days, I have 3 spots available that are running into July. It's a 30 or 60-day course, completely life-changing, covers all the inner healing, dismantling your belief system, and then we begin to map out a step-by-step, simple plan if you want to shift jobs or vocations or manifest anything into your reality. And we focus on that, and we play with it, and we make it happen. And so it's, to me, it's the most powerful stuff there is. And here's some testimonials from people, you know. Whoops. 4 weeks ago, I was an entirely different person. For the first time ever, I know who I am. I uncovered programs and subconscious beliefs that I didn't even know were there. I thought I was already awake. I'm discovering what it's like to truly be the observer of my actions. And I'm finding an inner peace without unhealthy attachments that was never there before. Yeah, if it resonates with you, come do it. It'll change your whole belief system around money too, which is, it's like the biggest thing for people. There is an investment for the journey, but I make it so anybody that truly wants to do it can do it. And yet there still has to be an investment or they won't be invested. It's really interesting to observe. Really fascinating. But you go through this journey and you will never say money is difficult, money is hard ever again. Completely life-changing. So anyway, I'll check in, see if there's any questions. Okay, if you want to go to the website and fill out the very simple, quick little form, Heather, I'll put in a link right here. And I'll be happy to get on a call with you. It's not a sales call. If it's not 100% yes, I don't want to do the journey with people because we're connecting almost every day, or at least every other day during the first 2 weeks for sure, through Messenger. Doesn't mean you got to show up every day. It's very simple. However, if it's not 100% yes for you, I've had people in groups where I had to like pull them uphill. It's no fun, and I won't do it. So if you want to get on a call, I'll share some wonderful tools with you. And if you decide that it's right for you, then great. If not, there's no judgment or shame or anything. I fill up the 4 slots every month, regardless. And then next month, there's 4 more slots. So if you want to get in and do it or come in and do it later, there's always a spot. It's not, I've only got, you better, that fear-based marketing, I don't resonate with it. And I don't think other people do either. I think people are turning away from that stuff. I see a really good post, about something with some really good tools. And then at the end, I see the fake countdown timer that says, you have to sign up for this. It expires in 3 hours. And I'm like, I saw that yesterday. So that's fake. It's 3D. And that's a turnoff. I don't do that. My door is open to anybody. And if it works for you, great. So anyway, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you for, I spelled the link wrong. That's why it didn't highlight. Let me see if I can edit it. Oh, good, I can. Okay, there we go. Now it'll pop up. Okay, cool. Okay, so thank you to everybody that shares these in other groups. My last transmission from Monday got shared over 60 times. That's really huge. I mean, that's pretty humbling for me, because I started this out in my bedroom in San Diego 7 years ago before I ever even came to Thailand. And, the people that reach out to me, it's very interesting. The majority of people that reach out to go through the course, they weren't my friends on Facebook, but somehow they're finding me through these other groups. So again, I'm really grateful to Facebook. Thank you, Facebook. Thank you, Facebook. I love you. I shower you with love. And we're clearing all this stuff. All the, fake, what are they? What are those guys that come along and say that your post is fake? These people that get paid to deceive, they're all being removed. Anybody that's deceiving or doing anything to harm humanity is being removed right now. All those dark inverted programs are being removed. Trust in that. Just observe it and actually shine light on it and go, thank you for playing your role to wake other people up. See? Even the dark people in government, even the pedophiles, I dare say, they're waking people up. People never used to talk about this. I used to share about this stuff 20 years ago, and everybody thought I was crazy. 111 right now. I love it. So thank everybody. Thank everybody. And catch your judgmental triggers and clear them. It'll change your life. All right? Big, big love from Thailand. And yeah, even if we label them trolls, that means we're judging them. So I used to call people sheep. I don't do it anymore. I just go, thank you. It's not their time yet. And what they're doing is they're my greatest teacher to see if I'm still labeling and judging anybody as less than me. Because guess what? Everyone is actually you. Yeah. Get that piece. Everyone is actually you. Yes, even the deceivers and the pedophiles. Because if you break this whole dream down, there's only one. And there's only one place to go to, and that's to love. Back to love. Back to love. So catch yourself. Anytime you label anybody else or judge anybody else, I'm doing the same thing. I'm not above anybody. Even the people that come that I journey with, they go, oh, you're my teacher. I go, no, you're my teacher. And every single person I learn from. Why? Because I know that everybody is my teacher. So great stuff. Thank you, everybody. Big, 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 big love from Thailand. And I'll be back Monday and Thursday in the U.S. So, yeah, big love. Thanks, sir. Thanks, Heather. Thanks, everybody, for showing up. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, everybody. Denise. Yeah, big, big love. All right. Have a great day or evening, wherever you're at. Stay excited.